So how much does it cost to live in a village like this, only 5 minutes from the beach in a not so touristy part of Thailand? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Joe. I'm going to keep these on because it's rather bright today. If you're new here, I quit my well-paying job in the UK right at the start of COVID, and I went travelling around the world at the worst possible time, and I ended up coming to Thailand and never left. And now I've got a wife and a mini polar bear, and I've got a few businesses here that we run together as well, almost 4 years later. So it was a good decision to quit that job. But today I'm going to show you around the village where I live, how much it costs to buy, how much it costs to rent, the positives, the negatives, why we chose here in terms of the location. And as you can see right now, it is quite beautiful where we live. There are many benefits to living here, also some negatives, but we are also going to move back to the countryside next week. So for those of you that watch my short form content, you'll know we live half the year in the countryside, half the year wherever we like. And before I left here, I thought I'd give you a quick lowdown on the area, as I'm sure many of you will also enjoy it. So where in Thailand even am I? For those of you that watch my short form content on Instagram, TikTok and Facebook, you will know I live right by Layan Merpin Beach in Rayong province on the eastern corridor of Thailand. It's about 2.5 to 3 hours into Bangkok, an hour and a half into Pattaya, depending on how heavy your foot is. And if you travel down the coast down there, you'll get to the town of Ban Phe, which is where you can catch the ferry to Got Samet, which is just over there. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see it today because of the air pollution. And if you go the other way down the coast, that way, for 2.5 to 3 hours, you can also catch the ferry to Got Chang and Got Good. So it's a very good location in terms of getting around. You can fly into Bangkok and be here within a few hours. And our village is only 5 minutes away, so most mornings I'll come down here, I'll grab a coffee from the cafe or 7-Eleven, and I'll sit on the steps, enjoy the sound of the waves, relax. I'm quite fortunate in the fact that I don't need to start work early in the morning. I can manage my time how I please. And this is one of the things that I love doing. So from a location perspective, as I've already said, it's quite well connected to Bangkok, Pattaya, and quite easy to get down to Phuket in a few hours as well for my work-related stuff. And so being right near the beach was important for me. When you imagine and dream about life in Thailand, you imagine being next to beautiful beaches with palm trees, sipping a cocktail with your feet in the sand. And living up in Isan for half of the year for my wife's business, that's not possible because it's a 7-hour drive to Bangkok. And if you want to fly from where we are, right next to the Cambodian border, you have to drive almost 2 hours to Ubon Ratchathani airport, fly into Bangkok, take a taxi into the city. And I just found taking multiple trips each week for work, for me, gets a bit exhausting, just becomes a bit unsustainable. So one of the other ideas about moving here was it's a bit easier to access where I need to be for work. And so this was a good location for us. We'd holidayed here a few times before. Mina's mum is actually originally from the area, so that's how I was first introduced to it on a family holiday with them. Now the other thing that attracted me to living here is that it's not too touristy. I did not move to Thailand to be surrounded by tourists. That said, on the weekends, this area where I am walking right now, all along here, and the area over there by the benches, and this entire street, all the way down there, is absolutely packed with local Thais. So it does get busy on weekends. Right now, obviously, is a Wednesday morning, very quiet, most people are at work. On the weekends, it does get very busy with Thais, which I don't mind. I moved to Thailand to be around Thai people, Thai culture, Thai food, Thailand, right? And you can see a huge difference between high season and low season in this location. The village we live in, a lot of the homes in that village are owned by people that live abroad. In the low season, they'll rent them out, and then in the high season, they come back. That said, most of the homes are empty. There's just not a massive demand around here in the low season. Not many people are traveling here. The only people that live here are a few foreigners and mostly Thai people. So that's one thing that I do love about the area. It's mostly Thai people. Okay, so back in the village, and you can see the ground staff are doing a great job watering the flowers, maintaining, cleaning, and that is one thing that I do love here. It's very, very well kept. Just over here, there's a big communal pool area which everybody in the village can use. In the low season, it is dead. There is nobody using it. In the high season, you'll see a few families like now, and a couple of more the older generation, I would say, that come back to their holiday home for the cold season in their home country. And then if you come over here, you've got the restaurant, and it's ready cow, ready cow, ready cow. Normally when you associate restaurants like this attached to like hotels which are mainly catering for foreigners, you might think the Thai food's not going to be good. But as you can see, it's ran by all Thai people, and the pad kapow in here is incredible. Even my Thai wife said it's one of the best she's ever tried. And every time we go away from the village, and come back, she's straight in here for a pad kapow, kai dao. And one of the other cool things that they've got in here is a pool table. So if you fancy coming down, chilling with a few beers, play some pool. If you've got some friends or family over, you can come down, play some pool. Got the darts board up there, and then the lovely staff over here, which are just arriving now, ready for lunch. So in terms of the village, in terms of the facilities, the only thing I wish that they had that they don't currently is a gym. I did hear someone talking about it, but I don't know if it was just a rumour. It would be absolutely amazing if there was a gym, because the nearest good one is in Bam Pei, which is about 15 minutes drive, which is not the end of the world. But if there was one in the village, there'd be literally no reason to leave. Wake up, hit the gym, lunch for pad kapow, quick swim, do some work, back for a pad kapow dinner, and then do a bit more work. What more do you need? Now the part that you've all probably been waiting for, how much does it actually cost to live here? So I'm right in front of a few properties now that are up for sale, and most of the properties in this village are for sale between 2 to 4 million bahts, and I'll put the conversions on the screen for you. Now, some of you are going to say, foreigners can't buy property in Thailand. In here they can, because it is leasehold, which comes with its own complexities, and you need to get around that with a good lawyer to understand the leasehold agreements here, because from what I understand, it's 30 years renewable, and I believe foreigners can do that 3 times, but you're not guaranteed to get the second and third 30-year period. It's somewhat of a negotiation from what I've understood from the current villagers. So that's something that you do need to consider. It is leasehold. You're not going to own the land. That is the property developer that owns the land. You're basically leasing the land to said property for 30 years at a time. I think you can do that up to 90 years, which is enough for most, but prices. So to buy, most of the properties are 2 to 3 bedroom. This one here is probably a 2 bed. Yeah, 2 bed, 1 bathroom. And this one is for sale for 2.3 million baht. Now, if we walk next door, there is another property for sale just here. As you can see, it's all well maintained because the team continue to maintain it, and the property owner will pay for that maintenance, which is something else that you need to consider with leasehold. So from what I understand, most properties in the village pay 3,000 to 4,000 baht per month, depending on how big their land plot is, for maintenance. So that's going to include all the hedges, planting, the communal area of the pool and the grounds all around there, and also the security at the front. So 3,000 to 4,000 baht per month is something that you'd need to budget in. This one here is for sale just under 2.3 million as well. And if we go to the next house, this one's a bit more expensive. This one is up for sale for just under 2.9 million. And you can see on the screen the contact details for the estate agent if you want to get in contact with them to look at it. I do know that the house next door, just there, is a little bit bigger. I think that might be a 3 or 4 bedroom, and it's got a pool. So if you were wanting to build a pool and you've got a bit of spare land, it's something that you can do. I think you might need to get permission from the property developer, but I think the team that they've got that maintain the grounds and stuff can actually do that for you as well. One other thing to add to that is I saw on the news recently that the Thai government are contemplating creating a 90-year lease. So instead of having 30, 30, 30, where you've got to renew each time and negotiate rates and stuff, it's just going to be a straight 90-year lease, which for most people is going to be good. In theory, I personally think that that would have a negative effect on the economy long term in Thailand, because so many Thai people are going to get priced out of the land with big wealthy foreigners coming into the country, buying up all the land, and basically the same thing as what's happened in Phuket. So let me know your thoughts on that anyway. 90-year leases in Thailand, would it benefit you? Would you take advantage of it? Do you think it would be a positive for Thailand or a negative overall, not just for foreigners but considering Thai people as well? Now that's buying done. Our house is right here. So this is the house we've been renting for the last 5 months. It needs a bit of updating. So the inside is a little bit dated. For us, that's not a problem. We've got a dog. We're not after anything super fancy. What I would say is, you can hear my dog now. We've got a little garden outside. The owner left his little, I forgot the name of these things, bike with a side thing. It's like Wallace and Gromit bike. Oh, it's me, stop barking. How much do we pay to rent then? So most of you are going to do this. This is what we're going to do. I like having the flexibility to move around when we want, and we pay 18,000 baht per month. That includes the maintenance fee for the area. We don't have to cover that. It is the responsibility of the owner. We did go through a local company called Sun For You. They have an office in the village just down there, and they've also got an office right next to the beach at Layan Mapim, where we were a little bit earlier. If anything goes wrong with the house, lighting, electricity, water, we contact them. They organise it to get fixed. If it's something we've broken, we pay for it. If it's something that's just faulty with the house, then the owner covers it. And having them on hand has been great. The house was empty for quite a long time, so there were a few things that needed sorting when we first moved in, but the team there have been superb, and they manage a lot of the houses in terms of rentals and sales in the village. So if you are coming to this area, this is not a paid post. I'm not getting anything for shouting them out. That's the company we went through, and I would go through them again. Even if you do pay a little bit more than going direct to the owner, I personally am happy to pay that little bit extra, a few thousand baht per month, to have that team there to organise everything for you, to fix things for you, and it just makes things so much easier. So I'd recommend them if you're coming to the area. Speak to them. They've got houses in this village and a bunch of other villages around this beach area and a couple of other beach areas as well. So what if you want to rent something like ours or something a little bit bigger with a pool? So I'd say for our house, you can probably get something similar for, let's say, 15 to 20k. And if you want to go for something bigger, 3-bed, 4-bed with a pool, you'll be looking closer to 30,000 baht in the high season. In low season, the prices do come down a little bit as well. If you go for the longer term contract, 6 months, let's say, or even 12 months, then you've got much more negotiation power. Only downside to that is a lot of the owners here rent it out on a weekly basis rather than a monthly basis. And that makes it quite challenging to find something that's actually available for 6 months in a row. A lot of the houses we looked at, including one with a pool, we couldn't take because we wanted something for 6 months, not having to swap around the village what house we're staying in. And it was rented out for a week here and a week there, which made it a little bit challenging. This house was the only one, or one of two, that was available for 6 months. So that's one of the only things downside to finding a home in one of these villages is you do need to cover your own bills. So for us, we have 2-bed house, 1 bathroom, me, my wife, dog, and we pay 2,000 to 3,000 baht per month in terms of electricity and 100 to 200 baht per month in water, which sounds crazy when you're coming from the West. When I first got my first water bill when I moved here, I was like,
there's no way that that's right, because it was 80 baht. It's less than £2. But water is very, very affordable here. Your electricity you don't need to worry about so much if you're coming from the west. It's probably going to be more affordable than back home, but if you have your AC blasting 24/7 and you have to power the pool, the pump, etc., it could cost a little bit more than what I've just given in terms of figures. So yeah, that's some of the things that you need to consider. It is possible to buy and rent here as foreigners. There wasn't really any other major challenges, unless you've got a dog, like we have. This village here is one of the only villages that accepts dogs in the area. Every other one, not dog friendly. Okay, so I guess the main question is, would I live here again? And in short, I would say yes. The positives: the village itself is very well maintained, peaceful, safe. Facilities are good in terms of the communal pool. The restaurant's really good. The food there's really good, exceeded expectations. It's next to the beach, only 5 minutes drive. Islands nearby. It's close enough for my work in Bangkok, Pattaya, and I can fly down to Phuket as well. And yeah, overall it's just a good experience. I've got a little office in the house which I've set up, and it's just a great place to come and chill and work at the same time. There's no chaos like in Bangkok, although I do love Bangkok, and that's an option that we're thinking about for next year. The downsides, I would say, quiet season, it is dead. And when I say dead, I mean dead. Most of the restaurants close down for 7-8 months of the year, and you can really notice the difference. And in some ways I almost feel sorry for some of the locals, because those businesses have kind of built up and grown with people moving to this type of village, and then all the people that are in this village, or I'd say 80% of this village, will be quiet. Nobody here in low season. So those businesses also are impacted by that. And I guess that's one of the negatives of foreigners having second homes in an area like this. Businesses are impacted by that. Other negatives: it's not been as convenient as I thought it would be for getting into Bangkok and back, but that's something for me to just learn from. For other people, they're probably not going to be traveling in and out of Bangkok for work as regularly as I've done. So that's where I live currently in Thailand. But as I said, next week we are heading back to Sisaket province so my wife can prepare her business for the start of the busy season. And then next year, I'm not sure where we're going. Maybe we'll hit Bangkok, or maybe we're going to go and try another less well-known beach area around Thailand. Let me know where you guys love, where you've holidayed, where you've lived in the past, and where you're thinking about exploring in the future, because I'm sure those comments and hopefully this video have helped some of you to plan your future trips or where you could possibly live in the future. That's going to be it for today, so I'll see you in the next one. Time for a pad kapow.